Hi, welcome to my channel, Zen and Fit. My name is Nikki for any of you who are new to my channel. On my platform, we talk about health and wellness, lifestyle topics, as well as mental health. So in today's video, I actually wanted to revisit when you're dealing with a narcissistic parent and the unhealthy dynamic that can arise if, let's say, you have siblings, and what can happen when you're basically being raised in a household where you have a narcissistic parent. But before I jump into the video, if you could please hit the like and subscribe button and also share this video with anyone. That would be much appreciated because it helps me to be able to create more content on this platform. I typically post once a week on here. I'm trying to be more consistent with posting on a weekly basis, so I appreciate your patience and bearing with me. Sometimes life happens and I'm not always able to post as often as I would like, but I'm trying to get better at that. Now, in my previous videos that I've done talking about narcissistic parents, I've talked about some of the traits to look out for. In this video, I kind of want to more so focus on the dynamic that narcissistic parents can have with children, especially when they have more than one child. And I just want to give a disclaimer. This video is in no form trying to diagnose anyone in any capacity. This is just more so sharing of information. Having a narcissistic parent can be truly toxic, especially for your overall mental well-being. If you grew up in a household where one or maybe both of your parents were narcissistic, because narcissistic parents often see their children as extensions of themselves, it can be truly difficult being raised in a household by a narcissist. When a narcissistic parent sees their child as an extension of themselves, it could be a very difficult situation for that child because that narcissistic parent is over-identifying with that child. And so it can be difficult in having any type of imperfection because that narcissistic parent will find issue with that. Let's say maybe you're participating in a sport and maybe you didn't get first place, maybe you got second, and that narcissistic parent, because of how they're over identifying with you, they can't take that imperfection. They can't stand that you didn't get first place, and so it's like they're upset, they're disappointed in you, they're not happy with you. And of course that can affect anybody's mental well-being if you're being raised in a household that is exhibiting this type of unhealthy dynamic. Because if you think about it, if you have a parent that is exhibiting these types of traits where they won't allow you any kind of imperfections from you, you're constantly going to be chasing something that can never be fully achieved. You're never going to be fully happy with yourself because any type of mistake is going to be magnified and it's seen as a major failure in life. No one is perfect. You're never going to always come in first place. You're never going to always have the top grade in a class. Even if you're an adult listening to this, and maybe you have, there's been periods in your career where things haven't gone the way you thought it was going to go. That happens. That's life. But when you have a narcissistic parent, a lot of times they can't accept those imperfections. Everything has to be on point because they are over-identifying with you. They see you as an extension of them. And due to their fragile ego, they have difficulty in being able to accept your imperfections or accept things that may just come up in life. Another potential unhealthy dynamic you may see with a narcissistic parent when it comes to their children, and especially if they have more than one child, is that they may favor one particular child over the other, where one child is like their golden child, and then the other child may be like the scapegoat in the family. It's like when anything goes wrong, they blame that one particular child that they have labeled as the scapegoat, and then the golden child, they favor them, they like them, them, they're closer to them. And so it creates, of course, an unhealthy dynamic, not only with the parent, but among the siblings. Because as you can imagine, especially among children, you're trying to get your parents' affection. You want to feel loved. You want to feel protected as a child. And so if you're living in a household, especially if you're the scapegoat, you feel as though you're rejected in your family. And that can also create a conflict between you and your sibling, because like you're both competing for your parents' affection and love. And a narcissistic parent can thrive on this unhealthy dynamic. That a narcissistic parent may also engage in triangulation in the family, where, let's say for example, you have a narcissistic parent, and let's say they're having a conflict with one of their children. Let's say for this example, we're using adult children in this scenario, and let's say one of the adult children is in a disagreement with their parent. And so what happens is maybe that narcissistic parent triangulates the other sibling into the situation that has nothing to do with that other sibling, but they triangulate them to like maybe say, oh, look at what your sibling has done. They did this incorrectly. They messed up on this. And so they're bringing in another party into the situation, into the conflict. Maybe for some of you who are currently listening to this video, you can relate to this type of scenario where maybe you've had a narcissistic parent, and even as an adult, maybe you have conflicts with them from time to time, and they always seem to involve your other sibling into the scenario, and it's like they're engaging in this triangulation. And so this is common. So not only are you having a conflict with your parent, but you're also having a conflict with your sibling, because the other sibling may be agreeing with that narcissistic parent because they don't want to be on the outs with them, with the parent. And so it really creates a lot of toxicity and dysfunction in the family, just because of that parent. And narcissistic parents, they really relish in this type of dysfunction. Unfortunately, they relish in having you compete with your sibling and having you be in conflict with your sibling. And a lot of narcissistic parents, they thrive in having the power and control in the family. And so it's a common pattern that you may see among narcissistic parents. Now, if you're noticing, especially as an adult who's listening to this video, if you're noticing that you do have a narcissistic parent, understanding and giving yourself some empathy to your situation, because a lot of times you won't get that empathy within your family. Now, if you do have a narcissistic parent, it's going to be imperative for you to have your own support system, whether that's through a significant other, friends, distant relatives, or maybe it's finding a qualified therapist to process with, to identify ways to establish healthy boundaries for yourself so it's not emotionally draining for you. It's going to be important to have someone in your life, some type of support, because especially when you have a parent that is narcissistic, it can be really devastating to your overall well-being if you don't establish healthy, constructive boundaries for yourself. I hope you found value with this video. I look forward to reading any feedback or comments you have. And until next time, take care.